Hello, what is going on, guys? Thank you so much for selecting this video. In this video, we're going to be discussing exactly how you should start off playing OneBit Adventures. Now, what is OneBit Adventures, you could be asking? Well, OneBit Adventures is a turn-based loot finder game at which you are working towards the goal of being better, getting better. Improving within your loot, your stats, your level even, to rank on the leaderboard maybe, to be better than your friends, whatever it might be. That is kind of the all-round goal in this game, like other games. Just working towards being the best. Now, how do you do that in the quickest way possible is kind of what brought me into making this video. And well, let's get started on that. We'll start off with a warrior no matter what. There's no way of choosing this. You can select hardcore if that is what you wanted necessarily. But you shouldn't, because you will not be able to progress further. You cannot pick any other class because they cost money, which you will not start with. Now, you're gonna probably want to start with the tutorial. The tutorial pretty much keeps you with an idea of how to kill enemies, what certain items do, like the key opens the door, you approach an enemy and to attack it, yada yada yada. You pick up an apple, food, those kind of items you can use to sustain your health. After fighting guys, you can head to the shop, which sells you items. You don't have any gold at the moment because you've just started. You'll see this blacksmith. Now, this blacksmith can upgrade your weapons, which you need to go into a cave in order to do. These are pretty simple, standard things that you will see in the tutorial, and I'm pretty much wasting my time talking about. Now, once you finish the tutorial, you will start your first run. Now, you're going to need to be able to kill enemies efficiently. And the best way to do that is to wait for them to approach right next to you, one tile next to yours. Because if you run right into them, what's going to happen is you're going to take damage without dealing any to your enemy. You want to be able to attack them at the same time they attack you, to sustain your health, to make your run the most effective. Now, that's very important near endgame. When you're really cutting the wire, starting off, it might not matter so much. You can get by without doing it, but it is important that you know that, because it'll boost you a lot further. Because say a lot of enemies take about 3-4 hits to kill. If you can reduce that, like the amount of health you're taking, say you're taking 5 hits from the enemy, you would only be taking 4 hits from the enemy that only took 4 hits to kill. Now, here we just leveled up. Leveling up is a big part of the game, and you'll notice, what do I want to rank up? It's good to understand what each level or each stat does, and it's important to know how much you can upgrade that stat and how much that stat will go up when upgraded. Now, health, you'll notice, has an increment of 10%, and that's pretty crazy. That's pretty important. As a warrior, you're going to need a lot of health because you have no sudden healing strategy, unlike the Blood Knight. You're really relying on your health and being able to get to campfires. Now, damage only goes up by an increment of 5%, which is still pretty darn good if you come to think about it. That's 1/20th of your damage will go up. That's not bad. Now, we're looking at critical strike chance. Critical strike chance, essentially, well, it has a chance when you hit an enemy to double your damage exactly. Say I do 20 damage normally, I'll do 40 damage if I get a critical strike. Now, the increment when upgrading critical strike chance is 2.5, which in comparison to other games is quite significant, but given that you can only go up 50 levels in this game, as of now, the update will be coming out soon, that will change. But given that you can only do it 50 times, it's kind of has to be that way, I guess. I didn't upgrade it much on my personal warrior, and I still was able to get it up to 75% by the time I was level 50, which was just not too long ago, but that's beside the point. It's pretty important to have, because it's a big part of the damage. If you can't deal the damage that Critical Strike gives you, then you're not going to be able to make it as far, because you're not going to kill enemies fast enough to get to the campfire before death. Now, that sucks. Death sucks. And on your first death, it will cost you either, well, it should be free on your first death, but after the free one, it will cost 1 diamond. And you don't have any diamonds at this time. And if you can't pay it off with diamonds, then you're going to have to wait a given time to revive your character. Here we're about to approach a cave. And let me say, starting off, caves are always 100% worth it. And let me tell you why. Starting off, it can be hard to get loot. Loot which you can upgrade with the blacksmith, which always shows up next to the cave. But you need to go into a cave at least once to upgrade things, because you don't have any materials, and materials come from the cave. So basically you need to enter the cave and come out with those materials, essentially to upgrade them later. Now, caves are always worth it for a specific reason when starting off. It can be hard to, find items starting off. And caves have a lot of crates and barrels, which are a cave-only thing. Now, putting on items, you just have to go to the equipment tab next to the skills, and that will take you there. You tap on whatever equipment piece you got, and it will equip it, or you have the option to equip it. Now, why are caves worth it again? Okay, so given that there's all these crates, you can get more items more effectively, which will allow you to just fly through enemies outside of the cave much easier. Now, as long as you have healing items, you can get through a cave just fine. You'll notice here, I'm not picking up materials. This is simply because I'm not going to use this character ever again. This was only for demonstration, and it would be me wasting my time to do that. But it is recommended you do that. They do sell for a good amount, as well as you can upgrade your items. You should pick up as many materials as you can, which more often than not is all of them. You should kill every guy, get every material, and open every crate and barrel. This makes caves so effective. It gives you the chance to boost yourself in a way. And yes, there's no campfires, but caves aren't actually that big. I mean, yes, they can last quite a while and they can be pretty scary, but they're not actually that significant. But there's one thing that makes the cave so cool, in my opinion. And we'll get to that in a minute. But aside from that, yeah. Just a lay down of what it is you need to do. Pick up every material, break every barrel. These barrels will give you items. You need these items to get through the game. Simple as that. Now, items have levels on them. Levels basically determine just how good the item can be. Now, how high you are is what determines the item's level. And this is why you need to kill every guy, because every guy will give you XP, and XP gives you levels, levels give you item levels, items give you better stats makes you a better player. Kind of a long chain, but if you can run that down to yourself, it's not too bad. Here we approach the boss. this is the coolest part of the cave in my opinion. I like to approach on the left hand or the right hand side most often. It's a lot easier to get clipped on the left hand side because of that big tree. Now, if you hit the boss, you'll notice, well, here first, I already got clipped next to that big tree because I was on the left hand side. Now, if you hit the boss on the top left tile, his head, you'll do more damage. This is significant to kill the boss faster. It means it's less likely that you will get hit because he is quicker dead. This is important. Now, I like to hit the boss between his attack intervals 3 times. You'll see I'll hit him 3 times and then I'll start running away, because oftentimes when you hit him 3 times, that's when he'll start attacking back. After 3 hits, he'll start hitting you. And it's a turn-based thing, which means you can calculate everything pretty easy. Now let's review all of his attacks. Now, that attack he just did right there was pretty much his most standard attack. He'll put a target, you run away from the target, and then you hit him once he lands. Pretty simple. Once the target is fully bright red, you need to be out of the target your next move. Pretty easy to calculate though. That's pretty much that. He has another attack. I like to call it the swoosh attack. He does a big swing only under him. He only does this attack under him. Now, that kind of gives you an idea then where do I want to be. You would preferably want to be on top of him most of the fight. But really, if you calculate all the moves, given that it's a turn-based game, you can get through this boss without getting hit. I kind of did it more mindlessly. There is one more attack though, and this attack can mess you up. It's similar to the first attack, but it's quicker. You have less time to move out of the way, and he does it twice. That attack hurts just as much as the one build-up does, and it can be scarier too. Once the boss is dead though, which it's a pretty simple boss, don't get me wrong, you get items. This is also making the cave more worth it, given that you are receiving items no matter what, whether it be keys, potions, or actual weapons, helmets, chest plates, so on and so forth. I could keep talking. The boss is very much so worth it to do, given that you can kill him without being hit at all. You can always kill him without being hit, as long as you calculate just where you're going to end up. That's a big part of it. Now, I reached level 5 after I killed the boss. At level 5, when you go up 5 levels, you want to leave the run. You just want to leave the run. Here's why. You get a new level. You see, once I reached level 5, I got Novice. Novice is a higher level from Beginner. Now, what's the difference? Well, you're getting more XP, which is important to level up quicker, because if you can level up quicker, you can get higher level items, better stats, better player, so on and so forth. We went over this. You'll see when I go into Beginner though, I'm not going to be getting 7 XP, I'll be getting 3 XP. This is much less significant, and in general, just not worth doing. Now, when going forth, you will get a, well, actually, you know what? I'm not going to say that. I will save that for a separate video. It's not very important to this one. So, that's pretty much it. No, it's not. It seems like it's about it. The game's pretty simple, but there's one thing that you just have to know. When starting off, It is never worth trying to get on the leaderboard. It just isn't worth it. It never is. Any man who could get on the leaderboard on his first attempt is amazing, really. And when I say get on the leaderboard, I don't mean get 50th place. I mean get in the top 5, top 10. If you can do that on your first try without any, other attempts on your character, I would be amazed. Because that's just not possible. That's just not going to happen. And getting on the leaderboard is important because you can get rewards for it. And that's kind of why you want to have a good run, so you can get on the leaderboard to get good rewards. You can never go wrong with that. Now, this is why going to a different level every 5 levels is important, because if you can get more XP for less, do it. Why not? Just always be sure that you're leaving through a campfire so you don't lose any of the items that you got when playing your last run. That's about all I have to say for this. It's a pretty simple rundown. What I said is probably things that you could figure out yourself, but there are some things that I wish I would have known when starting that you can know by tuning in. That's about all I have to say for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video whenever I get that out. Bye-bye.